Let's evaluate quantity 64 to the power of 4 to the third. Well, you could look at it as 64, you could rewrite it as 4 to the third power. And then when you have two exponents next to each other, you multiply, so you get 4 to the fourth. Because 3 will cancel out. So this means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which will be 256. Now another way of doing it is, remember how we could rewrite rational exponent as using radicals? If you recall, a to the m over n is the same thing as nth root of a to the whole quantity to the power of m. So using that property, we could rewrite this as cube root of 64 quantity to the fourth power. Now, what is a cube root of 64? It's going to be 4. So you raise 4 to the fourth power, you get 256. So you get the same result. Let's evaluate 16 to the power of negative 5 over 4. Again, when you have a negative exponent, in order to make it positive, let's review this. If you have 5 to the negative 2, this is the same thing as 1 over 5 squared, which is 1 over 25. If you have 5 to the, let's say, negative 2 over 3, this will be same thing as 1 over 5 to the 2/3. What if you have a fraction? Let's say you have a 2 over 3 to the negative 2. That's the same thing as 1 over quantity 2 over 3 to the power of 2, which is going to be 1 over 4 over 9, which is 9 over 4. Well, the shortcut is, if you have a fraction inside the parentheses, what you could do is you could do the reciprocal and then change it to positive. So you'll get 9 over 4. Notice you have the same answers. So when you have 16 to the power of negative 5 over 4, this will be same thing as 1 over 16 to the power of 5 over 4. Let's rewrite this. It's going to be 1 over 16. You could rewrite it as 2 to the power of 4. So what happens? You have two exponents next to each other. 4 will cancel out. You get 1 over 2 to the 5th, which is 1 over 32. You could also use, once you get to this point, another way of doing it is 1 over, you could write it as 1 over 4th root of 16 to the power of 5. And what is the 4th root of 16? Is 2. And 2 to the 5th is 32. So you get 1 over 32. So you could choose whichever method you prefer, but I personally prefer this way. Let's solve 5x cubed equals 320. In order to solve for x, we need to divide both sides by 5. So we get x cubed equals 64. And how do you get rid of the cube? You could do the cube root both sides or raise it to the 1/3 power both sides. So you end up getting 64 to the 1/3. Or you could write it like this, it doesn't matter. And what is the cube root of 64? It's 4. Now you could check your answer by plugging in, see if it works. Let's look at this problem. How are we going to solve for x? Well, you first need to get rid of the power of 4. So we need to take fourth root of both sides. Now, since we're taking the fourth root, there's going to be positive and negative. When the index is even, you will have two solutions. So for example, let's say you got x squared equals, let's say 9. What are two numbers when you square you get 9? Well, x can be 3 or x can be negative 3. What about x to the 4 is 81? Again, the power is even, so you're going to have x equals positive negative fourth root of 81, which will be x equals positive 9 or x equals negative 9. So whenever you take the, get rid of even power, just note that you're going to have two solutions instead of one. Now, fourth root of 24 is not a nice number. But let's say without the calculator, this is as far as you could go without the calculator. So you are actually going to have two solutions. Negative 3 plus fourth root of 24 or negative 3 minus fourth root of 24. So if you want to go further, you have to use your calculator to find the answers in decimals.